Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome to the Gaming 4. Today in this Unturned map review, we're going to be covering a map called Greenport Island. This is actually one of the ones that's been on our list for quite a while and we've just now gotten around to it. And it's a good thing we did because it was a very good map. So first of all, it got 89 points out of 100, obviously a very good score. So let's start talking about some of the strengths of this map. One of the main strengths of this map is that its detailing was very good. So it was a little inconsistent, but when I say inconsistent, it means that some areas were very good and other areas were pretty much perfect. There was a lot of hard work that was put into this map, and there was a lot of custom objects made from other objects as well that just really went into the style, and it really makes the map very cool to explore. Something to keep in mind is that this map was still vanilla, there were no extra mods added, so none of that really plays into the quality of the detailing. It was pretty much just straight up the creativity and the thought process of the creator of the map. Another thing that this map did really well with is that it included a lot of high tier areas. There was plenty to work towards in this map, and a lot of the areas were very worth going to. So not only were they difficult and challenging and interesting, but you got a lot of good gear out of them, including some of the highest weapon and tier spawns. In terms of some of the basics for this map, it did include a good amount of clothing spawns and some pretty good food spawns. It also included all types of each vehicle, so it did include water, air, and land vehicles, which is of course very important because this map is a large map, and it did include a lot of water, so it's really important that you include some boats to travel around. Also, the different types of zombies were really interesting in this map. Out of all the maps that we've reviewed, this one probably had the most creative zombie types, and I really enjoyed it, and it made it really interesting to play and raid and fight some of those zombies. Relating to the zombies is the drops that the zombies did drop were very useful and were pretty realistic compared to what types of zombies you were fighting. So it's really important as a map maker that if you do include interesting zombie types, that the drops that the zombies give are first of all valuable, but also that they make sense for the type of zombie you're fighting. One of the last things I want to mention that this map also had that was really nice is that it included all types of natural resources, including animals, both hostile and peaceful, berries, and metal nodes throughout the map. So it pretty much covered all the basics in terms of if you wanted to do a natural survival on this map. Alright, so that's pretty much it in terms of the strengths of this map. Obviously I went through them pretty quickly, but it had some really good strengths and it pretty much covered all the basics that a map needs to have. So let's get into some of the weaknesses of this map and some of the areas that it did lose some points on. Alright, so one of the main weaknesses and one of the areas that this map actually lost a lot of points on was the challenge factor. Now there's a few reasons that went into this. First of all, there could have been a lot more food spawns. Something we noticed is that near the spawn areas there were quite a few food spawns and it was really good to get you started with the map, but as you got into some of the higher tier areas, those food spawns started to disappear. And really, as a map maker, you need to include food spawns throughout the entire map. Even though you give starting out players a sufficient amount of food, if they don't happen to create a farm right away, they're pretty much going to be screwed late game because they just don't have any food. Something else that really would have improved the difficulty of the map is if we would have been able to find a lot more lower tier gun spawns. Now usually maps don't really have issues with this because, it's a lower tier gun spawn, they're not as valuable. Well, they're actually pretty important still as a survivor from the standpoint that in order to get into the higher tier areas where you get the valuable gear, you actually need some sort of weapons to get you there. Usually those higher tier areas are a lot more dangerous, and having the crowd control weapons, maybe a chainsaw, maybe even a viper with a decent amount of ammo, or a cobra, really helps you get through maybe the runners, the spitters, and the fire zombies that you really can't fight by hand. Now I agree that some of the higher tier areas you definitely can go in there by hand, but it's a lot more difficult, and if you run into a mega zombie, what are you going to do if you just have melees or maybe 10 rounds in a sport shot? There's not much you can do there, and you do need a decent amount of ammo and gear before you can even raid the higher tier areas. Something else this map lacked quite a bit of was car maintenance tools. I don't think we've really found any of the main ones. It was missing car jack, blowtorch, wrench, battery, and tires. We did find gas cans. That is sort of the most basic car maintenance tool because of course you gotta fill up the gas. It would have been nice to see some of those other tools so that when you do find a car that you want to keep, you are able to maintain it and keep it for a while and maybe even add upgrades to it so it's more durable and has more protection to it. Something else relating to cars is that there was a general overall lack of vehicles. Now I did mention that there were vehicles of every type, and that is completely true. We did find at least one land vehicle vehicle, at least one water vehicle, at least one air vehicle, but there was an overall lack of vehicles. And because this is a large map, it's even more important because it's hard to get around on foot, and especially late game, you want to have some sort of vehicles to get you from place to place. So it would have been a little bit nicer to see maybe a couple more basic cars throughout the map. One of the last things relating to detailing is that there was a decent amount of copy pasting in this map. Now I understand that a ton of effort and time was put into the detailing overall, so really improving it much more would be pretty hard. Obviously 16 out of 18 score for detailing is very good, but one thing that could have improved it would have been if there had been no copy pasting. Now some areas of the map, there were apartment buildings and other complexes like that pretty much every room in the building was copy pasting, and doing this will lose you a lot of points in terms of the detailing score. So as a map maker, even though it's really convenient to just copy paste rooms, don't do it. Switch them up a little bit at least, because it shows that you actually put thought and effort into each of the rooms of the building. And if you just copy paste everything, you're pretty much just taking the laziest way to detail your map, and it really decreases the quality. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this map review. Obviously this is a very good map to check out. It got a high score, 89 out of 100. It also did include some Easter eggs, so in terms of finding those, we're not going to give anything away, but they do exist, and some of them were very worth going to. So anyway guys, if you want to check out this map, I've got the link in the description below. Please go support the map maker. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe if you want to see some more. I will see you all later.